Everyone has the right to live a life free of abuse.
Welcome back to another episode of King Conversations. My name is Noah Evans. I'm a senior at Lincoln College Prep, and today I'm here with.
I'm Joseph Carter. I'm a senior at Kaufman, and I play baseball.
I'm Jackson Lewis. I'm a sophomore at Lincoln. I'm a barber.
Today, we're honored to have a guest speaker named Jessica McClellan from Giving Hope and Help, and she informed us about teen domestic violence. Most people think it's only a few categories that could be associated to domestic violence, but it's actually 6 or more.
Mental abuse is a form of abuse that's very common in our community, something that a lot of people do. We all contribute to in some form. It could just be as simple as lying to your partner, manipulating, just playing with their brain. Simple as that.
Sexual abuse, I feel like it's highly known, but it's also overlooked at the same time. Like, everybody knows you shouldn't force yourself on nobody. Don't be no creep especially. But it also can be like, say you at a party, everybody having a good time, and you try to force yourself on a girl, and she just trying to dance, you forcefully trying to dance with her, and she don't even know you. That's also sexual abuse. And also, like, trying to catcall a girl just because what she wearing, that's not cool. That's also sexual abuse. Don't be no creep.
One of the pretty overlooked forms of abuse that we talked about today was financial abuse, and that's anything dealing with money. If you're like controlling somebody's money or like what they do with your money, that's financial abuse. So like if I send somebody to the store and I'm like, oh, you can only buy this, this, and that, and if they do something like outside of that, I get mad and I become abusive, and that's controlling, that's abusive and financial.
Another form of abuse that's very common, happens a lot, is verbal and emotional abuse. It could really fall into the same category with mental abuse if you wanted to. It all really aligns with each other, but verbal and emotional is just things that you say to tear somebody's feelings down, to hurt somebody. I mean, if your partner like took the time and really tried to make their hair look good, put on a nice outfit for you, and you just disapprove of it immediately and just tear down everything that they spend all the time building up, that's a great form of emotional abuse and verbal abuse all in one. You verbally abusing them and hurting their emotions, hurting their feelings.
Cultural abuse, I feel like that's also very known. Basically, like, just because somebody don't come from the same background as you don't mean you should try to abuse them, talk bad on them, and bash them. For example, like, if you got somebody from the suburbs and somebody that grew up in the inner city, the person from the suburbs shouldn't feel like they better than them, shouldn't talk bad on them just because they got different backgrounds.
And I feel like the big one, like, when I hear domestic violence, what I think of is physical violence, abuse, which is, you putting your hands on somebody, you hitting, you kicking, controlling somebody physically. Like, they do something wrong and you're putting your hands on them. One term that Miss McClellan used was visual abuse, and that was something that I had, like, never really heard of. Like, that's not a term I've ever heard. So, like, it was just kind of crazy hearing that and thinking about it from, like, this generation standpoint and the things that go on now.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because, like, it's really digital abuse, but we don't even see it. Like, we don't even see us doing it because it's just like a norm now, just to troll. People call it trolling, just to troll online, but it's really, you hurt somebody's feelings by doing that.
When we see someone on Snapchat or Instagram, whatever, when we comment on it or sending it to your group chat or whatever, that's just not helping the problem at all. It's really just spreading it and you just being a part of the digital abuse, all the negativity going around.
I feel like after this lesson I will do something different because, like, usually when you see like one of your friends getting trolled online, everybody just laugh. Like, you never really think about how they feeling in the situation, and then by sending it around, you just make it worse. So I probably stop trying to send it around.
Yeah, she definitely opened up a new perspective to it for me today. Definitely, you see someone on Instagram, you like go look in the comments and like all the comments, laugh at the comments, see what everybody else got to say. Everybody just trolling more, adding more fuel to the fire, but you'll never think about the person that everybody laughing at you.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Cause like when I see something, it's like, oh, that's crazy. Like, your first instinct, send it to the group chat.
See what they think about the situation.
Yeah, so like not even just like putting your input or like sharing it. Like, I'm definitely gonna kind of refrain from doing that.
One thing Mr. McClellan mentioned to us that his father always told him when he was growing up that just stuck with him throughout his whole life was count the cost of your decisions. And it was his father just telling him that whatever you do in this split-second decision could affect you for a really long time. So count the cost of it. Know your consequences before you do it, because most of the time, if you know the consequences before you do it, think about all the negative impacts it could have on you, you probably won't do it.
One of the consequences of a decision like digital abuse could be possibly like that person retaliating on whoever or just everybody, or even like them committing suicide or hurting themselves because you make them feel bad or people make them feel bad. So that's a big one. So Ms. McClellan also told us that love is respect, and every healthy relationship comes with an acronym which is REST. And REST stands for respect, equality, support, and trust.
I feel like trust is super important when it comes to a relationship. It's like the building blocks, the foundation. Trust can go simple as checking their phones. Like if your partner randomly asks you, let me see your phone, can I check your phone, what you doing in your phone, how many dudes you texting in your phone, like that's also domestic violence, that's also abuse. Like that just means you don't trust your partner.
One of the things that's a norm in the teenage world today is having your partner's location and checking that location throughout the day. I mean, having a location is not really the bad part, but just it's the door that it opens to all the negatives that it could come with. You know, all the domestic violence that it could come with. You don't even know that you're doing because it's the norm in our world today. But just it goes back to the acronym, the REST acronym. It doesn't have no trust there if you just checking a location 5 times, 10 times, whatever, all throughout the day. Like, there's no trust there. There's no really respect. Like, it's a lot that's missing from that.
Taking location is definitely a form of like, I would say mental abuse. Like you kind of controlling them and making sure they're not going nowhere, or you asking them where they going and like all that type of stuff.
Yeah, like if you constantly asking, where you going? Why was you here at this time? Why was you there at this time? I thought you were supposed to be home. That's a key factor in mental, cause like you just feel like you controlling every day, every move, and like you don't got no say so of their life.
One of the statements that Ms. McClellan said that really stuck with us was that everyone has the right to live a life free of abuse. She was just saying everybody has the right to be in a relationship that has respect and trust and all the things in the acronym REST that she named, but all the things that are just key for a healthy relationship and non-domestic violence, no abuse in a relationship. Everybody has the right to be in a healthy relationship, live a life free of all those things.
One thing that stuck with me that Miss McCullough had said was that like you trying to be a savior in somebody's life can put you in a position to be abused. Like if I don't know, somebody grew up without a father figure, or you know they're having family issues and you're kind of there trying to fill that void, like you can end up getting hurt in a lot of ways and definitely be a victim of domestic violence trying to be a savior.
Yeah, like they can use that against you, like, cause they just gonna feel like you always gonna come back, cause you trying to save them from the hard times, and like they can do whatever they want, cause they know you always gonna come back. So that's how they start controlling and manipulating. One thing I feel like everybody has to do a better job of doing, like if you see something, make sure you say something, even if that's social media, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all that, and especially if it's in person. If you see somebody getting beat on, don't be scared to say something. Don't be scared to call the police. Don't be scared to tell your parents, your friend, anybody.
Yeah, and even if it's like, you know, a lot of people, you hear snitches get stitches, but like even if it's like indirect, if it's anonymous, you go tell somebody about what happened. Like you don't have to physically step in and help somebody, but definitely still being in a position to help somebody if you can.
Yeah, most of the time, I mean, these abuses is just something that's not even as deep or as serious as we would think it is, but it still happens. We just let it slide. It can be something that's you in the car with your homeboy and his girlfriend, and he just says something out of pocket or does something out of pocket. You can just check him real quick, tell him like that's not cool. That's all it has to be.
It's really important to provide support and like, you know, help people in those situations. If you see somebody that's in a bad situation, any form of domestic violence, or they're being abused, or they're being cyberbullied, like you want to really make sure, like once again, if you're in a position to help, like definitely take on that responsibility and help them. So, you know, like you would feel terrible if something happened to them and you had the opportunity to help and you didn't.
Teen domestic violence is something that's very serious, and it happens. It's very common in the teenage world in our community. It's very common. We just overlook it. Sometimes we don't even recognize it to overlook it, but it happens a lot. Something we need to address, and it's a very serious problem.
Yeah, Miss McClellan definitely opened my eyes today on a lot of topics that, I just overlooked. Didn't even know it was a problem to begin with, but now I'm kind of more vigilant and can spot those things and either help myself or help somebody else.
Yeah, I feel like before you make any decision, just make sure what you're doing is okay and it's not gonna tear somebody down, break them down. Make sure you got right intentions in your actions.
Everyone has the right to live a life free of abuse.
Everyone has the right to live a life free of abuse.
Everyone has the right to live a life free of abuse. Alright, and with that being said, my name is Jackson Lewis. Y'all can catch me on Instagram at I Know It's Not Jack and get the barber page too, Being by Jack.
It's been fun with y'all. My name is Noah Evans. Y'all can catch me on Instagram at YRK.NoNo.
My name is Joseph Carter. I want to thank Mrs. McClellan from Giving Hope and Help for coming and delivering this great message to us about domestic violence, teen abuse, all the things that we need to hear today. Y'all can find me on Instagram at jcarter with 3 R's _. And yeah.
Catch y'all on the next episode.
Everyone has the right to live a life free of abuse.
Was Kim doing that though?
What I do?
Hey, don't crop that out.
Hold on. Go ahead.